Nice to meet
Brody,
you.
Greg.
Can I
Call
ask
me
you
Greg.
a few questions?
Yeah.
Perfect, Greg. All right, so first question we got here is, can you introduce yourself to the people watching at home?
Sure. My name's Greg Schwarze. I am currently one of your DuPage County Board District 6 board members. I live in Carroll Stream with my wife. I have 2 daughters and 2 stepdaughters. They're all in their middle 20s. I just retired after 28 and a half years as a firefighter and paramedic, and 22 of those years was in Carroll Stream. I was a fireman downstate for a few years. I have served as a Carroll Stream Village board member for 13 years. I'm very active in the community, and I'm currently in the middle of my first term on the county board, and I look forward to continuing to serve.
Well, perfect. I want to thank you for your service as a firefighter, and I want to just dive into a little bit more of what you've been involved with the community and how these experiences prepared you to serve as a county board member.
Sure. Well, as I said, 13 and a half years or so as a village trustee. I got first elected in 2007 and served until I was elected to the county board in 2020. So that municipal government experience has obviously really helped me to be where I'm at today. And my experience as a longtime firefighter paramedic has really brought me really close to the community, and I see a lot of the things out there where people need help and assistance, and that's really my middle class values. My experience as a firefighter paramedic has really kind of guided what I think is important. I've also served on the Rotary Club. I've been a youth sports coach, and I have taught Sunday school, so very active in the community. And then probably the last thing that I think has helped me guide my experiences is I was the public education coordinator for the fire district for most of those 22 years in Carroll Stream, which brought me into the schools. It brought me to the senior homes. It took me to businesses, and I really got to feel the pulse of what's going on out in our community.
Perfect. So now you just listed a lot of things here, but what is one challenge that you think the county faces that you plan to address?
Well, certainly the COVID issue has been the big thing for the last couple of years, and that's affected so many different aspects, not just the disease itself and the illness, which is obviously I think the biggest part of it, but people have lost jobs, businesses have closed, things like that. Now, we in the county, I think, have done a pretty good job with the recovery from helping out businesses and controlling the disease and so forth. The one thing we haven't really been able to get a grasp on, and it's actually gotten way worse since COVID, and that's the opioid issue. And as a firefighter paramedic, I've seen my share of those. I've been on 6 opioid overdose deaths in my career. Most of them are young adults like yourself, and I've been on dozens and dozens and dozens of overdoses where we were able to get them back, thankfully. The COVID crisis has exacerbated that. People haven't been able to get out and get the health care they needed, certainly the first couple years of the crisis. And overdose deaths have skyrocketed since COVID. And so one of my goals since I got elected in 2020 is to promote earlier proactive education. A person that is 19 years old that starts using opioid is less likely to be an addict than someone who is, say, 16 years old. Their 16-year-old is exponentially more likely to be an addict if he starts younger. So my belief is we don't do enough early education. I mean, there's DARE programs in 5th grade which touches on opioids, but we need mandatory education in middle schools. That's a state issue. You can't mandate it at the county level, but one of the things, I'm on the Hope Opioid Task Force for the county, and one of the things that I've been pushing for is partnering with the schools to get early education in our middle schools.
Perfect. Now, I know that's one of your goals. Do you have a long-term goal that serving a county board?
Sure.
Like to accomplish that?
You know, and the problem is being an elected official, you may not have long-term. You know, you have to get elected every election, but one of my passions is certainly taking care of those who are in most need. So those are senior citizen population, those who are having trouble finding food or affording their rent. One of the things that we just did with the ARPA funds, which is the money from the federal government for the COVID, is we earmarked $10 million strictly to fight homelessness, hunger, and mental health and opioids. So instead of spreading this $10 million across the board for 30 or 40 different needy charities, which they all are good, we're going to really focus hard on these things. So we got that ball rolling already. We approved the $10 million, and we have 5 years to spend that $10 million, and hopefully that's going to make a dent in those issues. So.
Very good. You seem like a very caring person.
Thank you.
And now, for the last question, is there anything else you'd like to cover that you didn't get a chance to say?
I wanted to share currently the committees that I'm on the county board. They all fall within, I'd say, the things that are important to me. I had mentioned I'm on the Hope Opioid Task Force, so that's a committee made up. There's only 2 county board members on that committee, and the rest of the committee is made up of educators and healthcare providers and people that have a stake in this. And so I'm very proud of that. And like I said, I work to help get money able to be used for education in the schools. I'm also on the Health and Human Services Committee. That's the social services arm of DuPage County. So if you need help, again, with senior help, maybe you need help paying rent, maybe you need help paying an electricity bill, maybe you need some behavioral health assistance or hunger or whatever. So I'm very proud of being on that committee. I'm the chairman of the Emergency Telephone System Board, which is a very unglamorous board, but what it is it controls all your 911 dollars, and obviously being a first responder so many years, that's why I'm in charge of that. But we recently approved purchase of brand new interoperable portable radios for every policeman and fireman in DuPage County, and that's something like a $25 million deal. So not only will that protect our first responders, because the current radios that first responders have, which I used up until a few months ago, are 12 years old, they're out of warranty, it's hard to find parts for them, it's hard to find batteries for them. So I was able to secure that vote, and we got $26 million to buy new radios. I'm also on the Judicial Public Safety Committee, again, being a first responder. Public safety is so important to me. We oversee the Sheriff's Department, we oversee the Judicial Department. I'm a big believer in public safety and making sure our Sheriff's Department has all the equipment they need, they have all the manpower they need. We're taking care of those Sheriff's employees, the deputies, and all the ancillary staff, making sure we have good contracts in place. And the one thing you got to remember is when a police officer raises their hand and gives an oath, it's up to and including their lives, when you do that. So we got to make sure that they have everything they need. And the last thing I just want to say to you guys is, obviously you're doing this is really important, but it's so important for young people to vote, to register to vote, and to vote. And it doesn't matter, everything is so partisan these days. When I was your age, there was partisan stuff, but you could work together, you could get along. Now it seems like that's a lot tougher, and that's all you guys have probably grown up with. But just, if you're doing politics for the right reasons, if you're in it to help people, it doesn't matter which side you're on. You're there to do it for the right reasons. So.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate the opportunity.